This is key to the Buccaneers' success. We had a position group from Sunday have real up and downs against the Falcons that are now putting things into question about how reliable these players are. Are they going to be consistent from last year? Are the new guys going to be the ones who are stepping up rather than the ones who are old? But the Buccaneers are looking to avoid some curses that this franchise has had for a while. I'm Sebastian with Buccaneers Digest. Welcome back, everybody. Subscribe. 95% of viewers aren't even subscribed, but you just got to hit the bell, hit the button, join Bucs Digest. We're going to be doing a stream again for the Texans versus Bucs game on Monday night. It's the earlier of the two Monday night games, thank goodness. So we get to hopefully get some sleep over, hopefully, a nice, easy win over the Texans. But we'll see how that all goes. But you get to see me stress out regardless here. And we'll be talking about it in the chat. It'll be a great time to see everybody there. But yeah, we got to talk about this because special teams had a weird day on Sunday, to say the least. And a lot of people just throughout the week of practice, getting ready for the Texans, are like, okay, is this a problem? Is this something that we should be worried about? And on the other side, is this something that we're going to be relying on throughout the year regarding kicking, punting, and kick returns and all that stuff? So let's just jump right into it because there's a lot to talk about. Adam Slavin from Pewter Report had to say, on the special teams front, it was the opposite of last year. Punter Riley Dixon looked great booming punts, but kicker Chase McLaughlin struggled. The team cannot afford to see its kicker regress as they rely on him in close games. He almost cost them this time around. And then Greg Allman reported Bowles was asked about Chase McLaughlin's mixed extra point and the resulting late game drama in Sunday's win over the Falcons. Todd Bowles had to say, I'm not going to cuss here at the podium, but I was ticked off to say the least, and putting it nicely. You've got to fight through those things. You've got to overcome things in the first game of the season, and thankfully they overcame them. So, yes, we overcame, but at the same time, you saw me on the stream, especially when Chase missed that extra point at the end of the game when we went up late after the second Emeka Egbuka touchdown. He misses the extra point, and it goes from a 4-point game to a 3-point game. All of a sudden, the Falcons, they don't need a touchdown; they need a field goal, which significantly changes the defensive game plan and how we do our coverages. And also just the amount of field that the Falcons have to get in 2 minutes, which felt like an eternity. And thankfully, Younghoe Koo, the kicker for the Falcons, had struggled mightily as well in the game and missed the game-tying field goal at the end. So Bucs caught a break there, but at the same time, Bowles was not happy because Chase has been one of our more consistent, reliable players over the past couple of years. He has proven to be our franchise kicker, and we thought we wouldn't have to worry about this. But yet here we are talking about more kicking woes, but thankfully after a win. And then again, punter Riley Dixon, who we acquired from the Broncos, was really pretty good, honestly. For a good portion, especially in the middle of the game on Sunday, it was a field position battle, and he was doing a good job booming the punts. He had a good job just overall not shanking anything and really, putting the defense in bad positions. So I do want to shout him out. He had a really strong game. It's just Chase, he hits one field goal, but then misses another. He missed a field goal. It was like a 44-yarder or something. Similar length, actually, to what Koo missed at the end of the game. And then missing the extra point is really, really bad. I mean, they kept cutting to him on the broadcast like, okay, this guy is now feeling guilty. He feels like if they go to overtime, it'll be Chase's fault. Granted, the defense, they stepped up. Antoine saved the game with that play where he hit the ball out where it could have been a touchdown. There was several plays that could have been a touchdown. But, the defense bent but did not break, thankfully, because Penix was being extremely clutch, especially at the fourth quarter. And we managed to survive, but it could have gone a lot differently, and Todd Bowles knows this. Regarding Chase's percentage-wise as he was our kicker, in 2023, he had a 93.5 percentage in terms of making field goals. He made 29 of 31. And then in 2024, he made 30 of 32, which ended up being a 93.8 percentage. Basically the same exact thing for the past 2 years. And then obviously it shows 50% there because it's been one game and he made one kick and he missed another. But we're hoping that in percentage goes up quite a bit, and this ends up being one of the few misses that he has this year, just because he is a reliable kicker, especially from distance, especially in the short yardage situations. We haven't had to worry about it much, and yeah, it's just one of those things. We don't have to worry about this. I think that it's going to be okay, especially after a win. Mentally, this shouldn't affect him because it's not like we lost because of him. Now we were put in not so great situation where it could have been a lot better. But in the end, we got the win, and that's what matters the most. And, I don't want to complain about it too much or to even talk about it too much, because the more chatter there is out there, the more it might get to Chase and the more he might, get in his own head. We saw what happened to Roberto Aguayo back in the day. We drafted him in the second round because he was the most accurate kicker in college football history out of Florida State. And he immediately got the yips and was never able to really recover. And that's probably one of the Jason Light's biggest blunders. At the time, I really liked that pick, but, it goes how it goes. Chase, just ever since he came to Tampa, has been an absolute rock for this team. And I believe that this is just going to be a hiccup in his journey with us. I do not believe this will be a sign of things to come. But I do want to ask you guys whether you think one way or the other about just his performance. What do you think about Riley Dixon? Do you think that we're going to have a strong special teams unit at just the overall season? Because really, in the end, Dixon and punt returning and kick returning were all great again on Sunday, and it was that case as well during the preseason. So we've seen really good signs, and this is Chase's really only real struggle that we've seen with his time with the Buccaneers so far. So I'm not hitting the panic button. I know Todd Bowles probably grilled him. I know all the special teams guys and the team was like, "Listen, we got your back, but let's maybe do a few extra kicks in practice this week." So that's probably what was going on there. And then regarding return unit, Cameron Johnson had an awesome punt return that really set the Bucs up in position to take the lead in the second half. That was an awesome moment during the game, and it actually earned him honors of winning NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. His 54-yard punt return on Sunday was the longest across the league by 31 yards. As a gunner, he also downed a punt inside the 20, so he had two sides of special teams doing a really good job there. And we just want to shout him out because a lot of us were assuming Tez Johnson was going to be our punt return guy, kick return guy, and Cameron Johnson really ends up being the guy who has a standout game against Atlanta and has obviously earned the right to continue to be that guy until otherwise. So in the end, I do want to see Tez Johnson get some reps and have some chances. But if we're having this guy play to the point where he's winning Special Teams Player of the Week, more than once, and just he keeps doing that kind of play, then hats off to him. I love it. I think overall, he just really did a good job, and really kind of changed the momentum of the game. And I really just want to shout him out. And I think it's encouraging to me because if the punting is going that well from Dixon and we're returning things well, we're downing things, we have all that under control. I think Chase will feel like, okay, I'm not the one bringing everyone down. I just have to live up to the rest of the guys on a special team who are doing their jobs. Just iron sharpens iron. Greatness makes greatness. So that's why I believe in Chase, that everyone's able to have an off day, and especially after a win, you shouldn't get down on yourself. You just get right back on the horse and keep doing your thing, and I do think he's capable of that. But I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts about Chase McLaughlin's struggles in the game against Atlanta? Do you think that there's a chance he might have an off year in general? Or are you more excited about the fact that we might have a return game with the punt and kick returns, especially with the new landing zone rules? And just being able to do a bit more field position battles where we don't have to rely on bad punting for the entire season. So let me know down below what you think about the special teams unit, how your confidence levels, 1 to 100, all that good stuff. And we'll get ready for the game against Houston. Remember, live stream on Monday night. We will be here. Get ready for that. I will see you then.